Yeah, and it's such a fun show to do. Greg Gutfeld, who's the host, is such a good guy, a funny show, and it's irreverent. It's something that you don't normally see on cable news, and they break all the rules, and they're on so late that none of the executives get to watch it, so they don't enforce the rules that they enforce on everyone else for that show, so it's really a lot of fun to do.
It's kind of like not having a president of the United States and the Congress not knowing what to do about that and just kind of drooling all day long. It's kind of like that, isn't it?
I wonder if that's ever happened.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, I did a podcast, a special report from New York.
Which you can get at TammyBruce.com.
Which people can. And talking about, of course, I've been tweeting pictures of you all night long. I don't know if you realize that.
Everything is appropriate, right?
Yeah, everything is, well, of course.
All right, because, when I was running down Madison Avenue.
I know, but you pulled your pants up fast, so it was okay. I don't know if anybody noticed. But we're good. We are good.
All right. Now, before we get to this grisly murder in the South Bay, since we're talking politics here, I want to ask you about Chris Christie's quote today. It was said to a print publication. He said, quote, "I already know I could win," in reference to the 2012 election. And he's not talking about the hot dog eating contest. He's talking about the race for the presidency. He says over and over and over again that he's not going to run, that he has no desire, he's not ready, he's only been governor for a year or two, and he doesn't have the experience that's needed to be president of the United States. Yet it seems like he loves to be asked about it.
His new name is Mr. Smug. Yeah, he's Mr. Smug, and bless his heart. Bless his heart in there somewhere. Bless his heart.
Do you think that
No, really. Look, this is a guy whose act is to scream and yell at people. Now, normally that would be our act. But this
we need to tell him to stop working our corner.
Yeah. I mean, come on. The thing is, though, look, how many times have we've been laughing and we've got some opinions and stuff. This guy, it's really for he's wrong on the Second Amendment. He's an open borders amnesty guy. He's appointed a judge who is an Islamic Sharia law sympathizer. He's part of the establishment that helped open the door for Barack Hussein Obama. And they are really not liking the fact that Americans have had enough of them because they're better than us and we're the bitter clingies. And, it's like I just want I want whoever can be president to be the person who can actually win a relay race. And, that could be real interesting. I think he might be a little bit back further in the pack. But, yeah, let's just actually do a 100-yard dash, Chris, and let's see what happens there.
Well, massive coronary attack. That's what happens.
Well, you'd be president is what would happen.
Are you kidding? I can't run 80 feet without being completely winded.
Well, so you walk to the end. He'll be standing there looking for the chunky monkey. I don't know what's going on there. But, no, look, he's in order to be a politician, we've talked about the nature of politicians before. They're a unique breed. They have to have an ambition that's unique, a point of view that's unique. The problem is if your point of view moves you from realizing you're special amongst your colleagues versus better than the people around you. And I think most of the people in the establishment have jumped that shark and now believe that they're better than us. And the politicians, well, the one that I'm a particular partisan for, Sarah Palin, you've got to realize and have a sense of confidence and self-esteem while keeping a balance and realizing that you're not better than everyone, but you certainly are unique and special.
Here's what I think a lot of Republicans and a lot of conservatives like about Chris Christie. When you look at the field...
He makes them look really good?
He makes them look really thin.
Yeah.
When you look at the field of Republican candidates, you've got a lot of people that have one but not the other. They have the resume, like a John Bolton, for example. I mean, this guy has walked the walk. This guy has a very impressive education. He was a fantastic ambassador to the United Nations. This guy has a great resume, but he has no personal appeal. He has no personal story.
I disagree with that. I mean, he's got half of the personal appeal because he hasn't moved his personal appeal, I think, for gain, so he doesn't really use it. But he is... He's fabulous.
It's not a likable... I like him on a personal level, but I think if you're just a person who's a casual observer of the news, you're not going to look at him and see a magnetic figure.
All right, magnetic, yes, maybe not. And unless I do have a different kind of point of view of who I like. Usually I want a man who can be... or a woman who's going to be Mothra and Godzilla and who's going to stomp on cities.
Yeah.
That's.
But most people aren't like that.
Aren't like that. Thank you. No, you're right.
And
you're
Newt
right.
Gingrich is in that field. He's a guy with a great resume, but he's creepy. And people won't vote
And
for a creepy person
we're not going to vote for a person who sat down next to Nancy Pelosi and whined about global warming and decided to always have, using women like vines in a jungle with the wife this vine and then grabbing for the next one. You got both vines at once for a little while there while you can get away with it before you let go of the first one. That's not, character matters. And of all people, Newt Gingrich should run to be a constant reminder of what we should never become again. And I'll remind people what that is. If nobody,
and that's why he's not going to get it.
Well, but still, Republicans tend to not like things that are upsetting, and I understand that. And my message to all conservatives and Republicans, as someone having come from the left, is stop turning the damn other cheek. Stop turning the other cheek and be aggressive and admit what's not okay anymore. And somebody like Newt Gingrich will not waste any of his time. And I think that that's important.
Well, and then you have people on the other side of the coin who have a great personal story, but they don't have the resume, like Herman Cain, a guy who the partisan Republicans, partisan conservatives like a lot because he can give a very good speech, and his personal story is very impressive, but he has no resume.
Well, that's what the campaign's going to be for. And that's why I think everybody who can run, who knows that if their personal life was exposed will not cause an irreparable October surprise in 2012, they should run. And, I've gotten I've taken some feedback on remarking on Chris Christie's weight. And here's the deal. When you are moving toward Orson Welles territory, there's an issue. It would be like if we didn't comment on somebody who was anorexic. That I've always struggled with weight, Johnny. You know this. I mean, I'm going up and down. I know why I eat, and we're all struggling with weight. I'm talking about the kind of clearly of food issues that indicate a problem in some other fashion, and to suggest that we not mention or point out anorexia is the same dynamic. This is a very different thing, and I know Ann Coulter loves him, and he's stout. No, he's not. He's Orson Welles. And I don't know about you, but I don't want Orson Welles being the president. And if somebody's got to chase down Ahmadinejad, I want him to get there before he drops.
But, he does have, just to defend Fat Show here for a minute.
Well, and he's smug, and he's a blowhard. On top of everything else.
Here's what he has going for him, and here's what a lot of Republicans, here's what Ann Coulter likes about him. Well, a lot of people can knock me down
that's
because
true.
you just stand next to me and blow, and you can knock me down.
Sydney knocks you down.
But here's the deal. The guy has a resume, being a U.S. attorney, being a governor, impressive stuff. And he has a very impressive record as a U.S. attorney there, so it's not like he was just sitting in a chair
Bullies
for a few years.
really well as U.S. attorneys.
And he also has a personality that's magnetic. People pay attention to him. When he's on television, people pay attention. When he's giving a speech, people watch.
You know what that used to be called? Laurel and Hardy. That's what that was. You put him right next to Mitt Romney, there you have it, Laurel and Hardy.
So I'm sensing that he hasn't won you over yet.
Here's the deal. I love big personalities, and I love men with big personalities. My favorites are John Bolton and Alan West, and I like guys who know who they are and know how to handle it, and it's fabulous. I think like every other American, I'm getting sick and tired of being told that it's raining when it's not. That what's hitting my shoe is some raindrops when it's something else entirely. And we're getting tired of it. We're getting tired of the games. We're getting tired of these liberals who stand around, call themselves conservatives. That's the main thing. When you're bad on gun control, you're bad on the Second Amendment, when you're for amnesty, I mean, this whole host of issues that he's wrong on. And he has dinner with Mitt Romney, and the night after his dinner with Mitt Romney in the governor's mansion in New Jersey, he starts going after Sarah Palin. Chris Christie wants to be the attorney general in a Mitt Romney administration.
He wants to be the attorney general and not
so.
the nominee in 2016.
I think that he wants to be the attorney. I think he wants to be the attorney general now and deal with whatever his personal issues are, because he obviously has some, because they've manifested physically, and get his act together. And then see if he can pull off. He's been very honest. I appreciate that about him not being ready for the presidency. That he's talked to his wife, and he's not saying why he's not ready. But look, at least he's admitting that. And for whatever reason why he wouldn't be ready, let me just put it this way: we would make it sure that this a GOP primary season, because there are so many former liberals who now are identifying as conservatives, this season would be very different than one that put up the next in line. So every Republican challenger had better be ready to answer this question. Will your marriage and your personal life stand up to the same kind of scrutiny that the Palins have withstood? And if the answer is no, then you have a conversation with your wife and you talk about what you want to do for a damn living.
Tammy Bruce is my guest. TammyBruce.com.
Not that I have an opinion. I'm sorry, who was that you let in here? What was that?
More up next, including Fox News suspending 2 of their contributors because they believe they're candidates for the presidency, or at least they're flirting enough with it to make it an ethical issue. We'll talk about that, have that sound, and much, much more right here on The John Phillips Show. Talk Radio 790 KABC.